All right, you guys, today we're going to be making these jellyfish. We're going to sew them and stuff them. They are felt stuffies, okay? Here's what the back of my jellyfish looks like. All right, and here's what the front looks like. You're going to start by picking out what color jellyfish you want. Okay, we have 3 colors to choose from. And we're also, once you get that picked out, going to get a piece of thread passed out to you on a needle. These needles are not super sharp, but they could hurt you, okay? They're not the sharpest needles ever. They're good for felt, okay? Now what we're gonna do first, okay, is we're gonna sew from this edge all the way around to this edge, okay? So we're gonna go from side to side, all right? So you wanna go up and around the hump. We don't wanna go across the bottom yet, all right? So what I'm gonna do is first, I'm gonna pick a side for the back, and I'm going to put my needle through it, straight up through it, and then I'm going to pull it through slowly, okay, until the knot hits. You see the knot? All right. Now there's 2 kinds of stitches you can use. You can use a stitch like this, okay, and that is just you go up to the next spot, up just a little bit, and you pull it through like you're going back to front and front to back. So now I'm going to go up through the back side and pull it through, okay? And I'm going to go up a little bit and go through the front side and pull it through. It's like you're outlining the same with these little thread stitches, okay? Let me do 2 more of these and I'll show you the other kind, okay? So here's 1 more. I'm going to push the needle up from the back and pull that extra thread through, and then I'm going to push it from the front to the back and pull that thread through, okay? So with this one, you go back to front, front to back to front, front to back. It's always straight, okay? On this one, this next one that I'm going to show you, you can go around the edge. So you can pick which one you like better and try to achieve that one. Or if you've never sewn before, you might do a little bit of each because you might forget. And that's okay. It's okay to have a little bit of each. Our goal is to sew this whole outside. So as long as you've done that, that will be good. I will say that if you do this one where all you do is, you see how it goes around the edge here? So all you do with this one is you always go front to back and then pull it through. You always go front to back and pull it through. So I'm going to start on the front on the next one. I'm pulling it through, right? I'm going to start on the front on the next one, go front to back, pull it through. The only thing I would say about this one is you want your, I have done something here. There we go. You want your pieces to be closer together. So on these, you get kind of these spaces in between, but on these, you want them to be pretty close together. So that way it keeps your edges together better, okay? So you can pick which one, and you're just gonna try it. And like I said, if you end up with some that are one way and some that are the other way, that's fine too. Personally, I'm gonna go back to the running stitch here on the side that I started with, because I find that one to be easier to go front, back, and then back to front, okay? So I'm gonna go back to that one, but you can do what you want to. So you guys, you're gonna go all the way around to here, and then you're gonna stop. Don't do your bottom yet, okay? Okay, you guys, so you should have gone from side to side, okay, with your stitches, and then we're gonna leave the bottom open. The reason we're leaving the bottom open is, first of all, we have to stuff it, right? And then second of all, we have to put these are jellyfish, and jellyfish have those tentacles that hang down. And so if we wanna add those, we're gonna use ribbon for those, okay? But because we have to hot glue the ribbon in place, okay? Once you put hot glue on there, sewing through there is gonna be really hard, okay? So what we will do is we will hot glue this bottom part closed for you. All right, that's just gonna be easier than you trying to stitch it closed after we hot glue everything. But if you look at mine, so here's your 2 options. If the sewing was easy for you and you really liked it and you want to continue on with it, you can But what you want to do is you want to leave it open, and you just want to sew along the front edge right here. Okay, whatever you were doing here, you're going to leave it open like a taco or a pita, okay? And you're just going to sew along the front edge. What that does is it makes it look like it's sewn without it actually being sewn. So when we hot glue it, it's going to look like you sewed it, okay? That's not super important. You don't have to do that. If sewing was hard for you and you're ready to be done, then what we will do is we will put this back to the back, whatever side your purse knot is, and we will tie it in a knot for you, and you'll move on to the next step, okay? But if you want to sew this so it looks like you sewed it without sewing it, let me show you how to do that. You're gonna pop this open. I recommend leaving it open so you don't accidentally put it through both. And all you're gonna do is continue whatever stitch you were doing the most of. So if I was doing these running stitches, then you would do that. If you were doing these stitches that go around the edge, then just do that around this edge, okay? So I'm keeping it open, right? And look, as you go, sometimes, especially when it's just this one, you see how it's easy to pull too hard and pull them together? Just flatten it back out if that happens, okay? So I'm leaving it open, doing another stitch, leaving it open, doing another stitch. And remember, the purpose of this is only if you want it to make it look like it was sewn closed instead of us hot gluing it closed, okay? It's just gonna make it look uniform all the way around. So if you wanna do this, do it. If not, that's fine. Okay, and then when you get to this other edge, you're gonna put it through both of them, and we will come around and tie a knot for you, okay? I like to put mine right here through this, okay? And then you end up with a loop, and I pull mine through the loop like this, and it makes a knot. So I do that a couple of times. I put it like through this knot right here and pull it through, and then you end up with a loop. Put it through the loop and pull it, and you end up with a knot. And you can put a little bit of hot glue on that. When we hot glue it, we can put a little bit of hot glue, okay? So now we're gonna cut this, and then I'll show you the next step. All right, so the next step is you are going to get to stuff it, but before you stuff it, walk over to the table, or we might even have these on plates at your tables, and you're gonna pick out 6 pieces of ribbon for your jellyfish tentacles, okay? Whatever 6 you want. On this one, I did all like pinks and purples. And on this one, I've got some greens. This is technically teal, but it doesn't look very teal away from itself. So we'll see, okay? And we are going to hot glue these for you, okay? Like this, so that they stick out. All right, you can put them in a pattern. They can all 6 be different, whatever you want, okay? And you're gonna stuff it. So what you will do is you'll take a little bit of stuffing. We'll have stuffing laying around at your tables. And you're gonna stuff it in there. I like to kind of scrunch it up to the top and make sure that's good and stuffed. Okay? You wanna be able to close it, so make sure it still closes. You don't want it so stuffed that we can't close it. All right, and then you'll take it to us and we'll hot glue it. We're gonna put hot glue here and then put these in and close this side, and then we're gonna put hot glue here, put these in, put more hot glue, and then close it, okay? And then we'll talk about how to add your face and other details, okay? Okay, so once that step is done, we will have googly eyes at our hot glue stations, and you can tell us where to put your googly eyes, okay? But once that part is done, you can come back and you can use your Sharpies and your markers, and you can draw details on your jellyfish, okay? So you can give it little like rosy cheeks, or on this one I even gave it some little dots, okay? Or you could give it like eyebrows, or on this one I might do some little eyelashes. So markers will draw on felt, and for the most part they kind of sort of show up as the color they're meant to be, or a similar color. So if I want this to be rosy cheeks, it's going to show up like rosy cheeks, okay? So you can then decorate yours how you want to, all right? And then the last step will be, if you want it to be a keychain, these are kind of big for keychains, but if you want it to be a keychain, we can add a little flap right here and hot glue it with a button behind it, and we can add a keychain to it, okay? So that'll be the final step, is if you want a keychain. All right, well, we have enjoyed having you for art camp this week. I hope you guys have a great rest of your summer.